Hi, my name is Ben Milton, and today we're going to learn about blog writing. Now, what is blog writing? We all have different perceptions about what blogging is. It might be a video blog or a blog, or it also be a written blog. It is all about having something to talk about yourself rather than just social media, but you have a dedicated personal space for yourself where people get to know what kind of views you actually put out. And social media's information can be controlled. It can also be regulated. However, a blog definitely strays away from those traditional norms. It actually gives you a much more personalized website for your particular purpose and need. Let's quickly look into a few basic points pertaining to what blog writing talks about. So, what actually is a blog? Blogs are found on the internet. They're like mini websites, and it is just the contraction of the word weblog. Now, these are just online journals, usually written as a series about different topics. It is also definitely stored in a chronological order, basically stating which was first stated, then followed by the later blogs which are actually given up. They are usually topics which are much more specific in nature and not very wide and very vast, because only if it is specific in nature, you are able to give content catering to a specific set or a need which is there in society. And also, for example, if I were to draft a blog on sports, I would have to make sure the blog sticks to that particular realm, and it might not just be sports as such, because sports has a lot of different sports in this particular category. But if you were to actually narrow it down, you can have one sport, maybe football. Now, football then again has a lot of different topics. It's like an inverted funnel, or just a funnel in nature, where you're able to circle down and pretty much point out one particular subject. So I'm going to start a particular blog on a football club named Arsenal. So I want you all to think of the very same in this particular meantime. Now let's look at the two main reasons why people blog. One is a personal reason and the second is a professional reason. The personal reason basically talks about why you need to share, and you can share your information through that, to give a public view, to publicize an issue in society, and to demand an action for change. So why are these are major points regarding why we actually write a personal blog. Now to talk about professional blogs. Professional blogs, they have three major categories of what they cater to. One is share information on a new product, news outlets blog information, and advertising. So these are three major parts which are actually within the realm. And the blog, or whenever you draft a blog, make sure that it's actually adding to your online persona. We as individuals have an online persona and an offline persona. So what kind of image you're actually putting across to the viewers matters a lot. That is the reason we make sure we are well groomed, we are well trimmed, we make sure we have a good presentation in front of others, so that they would understand what kind of a personality we actually have in mind. So that's the reason we need to have a proper online persona. So blog is one of the ways which actually helps you craft a very professional persona. Even when you go for a job, when you're actually going to apply for an interview, you can add it to your CVs as well, stating what kind of an online persona you have and what are the views you have actually shared. It might be aligned to the company as well, so which will definitely give you an added advantage with respect to the others in the interview. Blogs are multimodal, which can make them more interesting than a diary or letter. And multimodal means they can be more than just writing. They can include photos, videos, podcasts, hyperlinks, and a comment section as well. So if I were to write, if you even talk about Anne Frank's diary, it is much more of a personal touch. However, imagine if it was released right now, there would be a lot of comments which people like voice out based on that particular writing. Now, the steps to consider while writing a blog, and which is the very first step. The first step with respect to any aspect or any activity that we take up ought to be brainstorming. And the reason brainstorming plays a vital role, it actually tells you or analyzes your own mind as to the varied ideas which are being held across in our head. So in this meantime, we can actually think about different ideas which can be put together. It can be whatever it is. So what are the various topics of today? As I stated earlier, if you're going to make a blog about sports, we can then narrow down on the different sports available for us. We can also narrow down on the different items available to us with respect to the realm of possibilities and the nuances which are adhering to them. So it can be based on different topics. Now, if you were to talk about the Qatar World Cup as well, you can have a blog based on each and every match that took place in a chronological order and till the end, and the last blog can be the final, which had Argentina facing France. Good. So you do have your knowledge up, right? Next, so here I'm going to have a small tabular column. It's more like a hexagonal shaped topics which are mentioned over here. I'm going to give you all 1 minute to first choose a selective topic and then narrow down from this topic to help you out choose a very adequate or a very suitable topic for your blog. So this will help you understand why we need to blog and how you can build from here, because this is the very first step. Make sure you choose it wisely. And then after you have so many ideas which are mentioned over here, you can choose any one of these topics and start drafting your blog based on it. Next, define your audience. This matters a lot. Now that you've actually chosen a topic, now the definition of your audience also matters. So who is going to be reading your blog? Is it going to be just everyone in the entire world? No, it doesn't work that way. Media never works that way. We always have a target audience who will read our blogs. That's the reason there's an age category for certain blogs as well. So based on that, it is who you're catering to. For example, if you were to make a fine restaurant dining menu based on your blog where you have different menus posted, it cannot be for kids because they wouldn't be able to go to fancy restaurants and afford them. Then again, nothing can be said. However, but a majority of the population would be targeting only the restaurants over there, and they would also be looking at the price budget and so on. So there's a social class, there's a lot of economic class which comes over here. It just narrows down. So based on it, you need to segregate your audience. So who are you targeting? In a similar way, that actually works. Next, we have to do some research about our audience so we'll know what they like and how it would be feasible for them to get the information. So you can have them coming back to your site regularly to understand and view what else he has or she has posted. Next, this will help you consider the language you use in your blog as well. For example, if it is for much more of a casual going crowd, it can be very informal language. However, if it is with respect to the research community, the academic community, it has to be much more delicate in nature. Next, planning your blog entry. Now, a blog will definitely be very emotive. It's not very static, like just a boring site to look at. It's not a textbook page. So how would you try to make it more interesting? No matter what it is, whoever reads your blog should be interested. It should be a gripping interest that they have, that they should come back for more. And the knowledge, you can add facts over there. Whatever it is, make sure you're able to add more information, novel information, which they do not know. So they'll be pretty much intrigued by that particular concept and what you're trying to portray. And here's a sample plan for a travel blog. What and all you can put if you were to go to Paris in this particular summer. So what are the various things you can take up? Here is a huge circle over here, which you can actually decide based on that. Next comes the layout of the blog. So you start off by the name of the blog on top, then you give a title for each and every blog post that you're actually putting up. And your name definitely comes up, and it also is your online persona, so you can actually give your name and have a very strong identity for yourself. Here's another example. You have even recipe blogs, which here we have Sierra's Cakes blog, how to make cakes and what not they have done. Next comes the main body of the blog. So language used is usually informal, and if you're asked to write a blog about a personal event in your life, write in a diary style writing. And so it's mainly based on the purpose and what kind of content you're conveying. Don't try to stick to a rigid convention like for this kind of blog, like this is how you should write. No, it definitely comes up to you, but make sure the very major aspect is that communication is key and to also garner the interest of the reader. So whatever you write must be communicated effectively to the reader, and at the very same time, also with respect to what language you use matters a lot. So make sure it's interesting as well. And yeah, write the blog in first person because they should know that you are writing, and they'll have a much better feeling to it when they're reading it. Next comes authentic blog writing. So as we all know that we generally have this concept called referencing in writing as well. In a similar manner, if you're able to do similar referencing in your upcoming blogs, like stating, like for example, if you look at my previous blog, I had spoken about my trip to Kashmir. In a similar way, my trip to Ooty was also in a similar feeling. So that is a sense of understanding of what kind of ideas you're actually able to communicate, and you can even connect the dots in a similar manner. That's all about blog writing. Now, I'd request each and every one of you to start with your blogs and post the links in the comment section. Thank you.